Hey guys, what's happening? Beautiful Thursday in Texas. Maybe it's 80, maybe it's 50. Nobody knows. Um, yeah, getting excited. Combine's coming. Mocks are getting synchronous, so to speak. A lot of good stuff out there. Trying to get an idea of obviously wide receivers, cornerbacks, D line, stuff like that. So I'm going to run through a couple of these just for fun. Hit me up. Let me know what you're doing, what you're thinking. And yeah, let's see what happens. We'll do it a regular speed for us amateurs. Pretty good lineup here. I really like my draft. What's the one? It's like yellow and red. They're rebuilding their site, but probably the best big board in my opinion. But they're all getting pretty close. PPF obviously has some certain guys I agree with up, maybe a couple guys down that I don't agree with so much. Um, anyway, hit the gym, work the business, working for a new tech startup, and ready to see what Dallas Cowboys land does with free agency. Ideally, right? I think it all goes without saying, but for me, you're keeping Pollard, you're keeping Terrence Steele, you're keeping left guard McGovern, and you're keeping Dono Wilson. And the rest is all subject to interpretation and see where things go. But that's kind of what this looks like. And this is pretty much the perfect draft for me. I get that little teaser pick up there. And I'm going to see if I can run through it here. Osiris Torrance, one of the first linemen I watched because of where he's falling and where he's ranked. He's huge, wide, big, sloppy. But man, it just takes up a bunch of space, and if you have your tackles set for the most part, maybe you can move McGovern around. No more Kellen Moore, so maybe no more of that. But, you know, having him as your extra is good. I don't know if Torrance can jump outside, but, you know, Zach Martin, had another perfect season after a year with a couple of little tweaky injury stuff. So like um, maybe you need a little insurance there in the inside. I'm going to get a ton of guys, but I have a funny feeling this looks a lot like what I did before. So we'll play through this real quick and then maybe play with some other stuff. But everybody wants a wide receiver. For me, they're all gone at 26. I only like a couple of guys, our TCU big boy. And then, honestly, a lot of the guys I like are down a lot lower. I think Nathaniel Dell is top 10, in my opinion, in today's NFL, with what you can do with speed and route running and precision and explosiveness and hands, all that. He's my favorite player, probably pet cat type situation is Dell. Um, Xavier Hutchinson's a big, tall guy. And then I really like Perry to come in late. He's like 6'5", and I think he's freaking solid. Not a burner, but big possession guy, and I like it for the outside. Um, I mean, what's really interesting is what we don't know, right? Is CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, uh, Jalen Tolbert, and Simi Fioco. I mean, is that a surprise lightning in a bottle type situation? I mean, I don't feel like there's a number one in there. And that's just me being old fashioned, right? There's no Megatron, there's no uh Dez, There's no Michael Irvin for me, right? There's not a Devontae um, player in there for me. And you can use the tight ends, you can West Coast, you can spread it out, you can, play the new modern NFL, but I like a big guy somewhere. And where is he? He's, Cedric Tillman for me. Um, Obviously, I'd take Dale over anybody, but, you know, that's more gadgety and slot and, you know, speed. It's different. So you got Cedric Tillman, the unspoken Tennessee wide receiver, and I think he probably goes too high for my taste. And then, yeah, you get like a JT Perry, Michael Wilson, if he really, he's going to come way up after testing in this Senior Bowl and stuff. People like Trey Palmer a lot. He's not big enough to do what I'm looking for. Jalen Reed, really good, not big enough. Jones. This guy's big, Princeton, but hands and like sloppy, I don't know. I don't see it. And then Jonathan Mingo, that's a personality, man. You put him in there with CeeDee Lamb, we're gonna have some serious branding competitions. I like him a lot. But again, he's not anywhere near polished, like somebody who could step in and play the X, or the number 2. And then obviously you want somebody like a Darius Davis or something to have some fun with. Cornerback. Again, my favorite top guys aren't really there at 26, and this is where it's kind of screwy because I feel like these rankings are kind of rough on here. I really like Eli Ricks, I think, not a big sample size. I really like Jalen Jones, maybe Darius Rush. People have him as the number 1 cornerback, so this probably could use an update. Really like Mekhi Garner, small sample size. I don't know what's going on down there in LSU, but it's a situation. But then again, they kicked Kelvin Joseph out, so maybe they're actually not as ate up as they might appear. How about Wright's brother, Rajon? Now that, not a bad call. So anyway, here's what's going to happen, like it or not. Garrett Williams is my favorite cornerback in this draft. 6 foot, not 200. He is so aggressive, long. People don't think he has the elite recover speed and that top end speed, but I don't know. Smarts, playmaking ability, I like it. And what I really like is he's coming off an injury, so you steal him with the Jerry Jones special in the second round, and then late in the second round, and then you let those other guys play and battle it out a little bit and see what you got out there. And, he can come in game 6, bye week type stuff, and maybe be all the way back. I mean, it's pretty late. October, I think, is when he got injured. So we're not even to 6 months right now. We're 4 months. No spring training. I don't know. Modern marvels of medicine. But that would be kind of an interesting thing for me. As we dig in more, Julius Brents, nobody's talked about him in a month, and I think he's really freaking good too. And I do like coming off of, prestigious programs, right? Michigan, damn good. Probably have some damn good players. K-State, put up some serious football this year. Bama, A&M, I love South Carolina, TCU in the championship game. They got players, right? Riley Moss kid is good. It's deep, 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 and it's just how do you spend your time and your money, and by money, I mean draft picks, right? But this is my perfect draft, so let's just see what happens, right? And the funny thing is, it's just who do you absolutely love at 26? Could it be a 6'5", no-name linebacker? I mean, I feel like picking linebacker in the first round is like picking a running back. I was traumatized when we traded back 2 spots and took Micah Parsons, but he's not a linebacker, right? The only reason they all look like geniuses is because he's the most freakish, undersized speed rusher, power rusher, toolbox edge that nobody knew even existed. So, did the Cowboys know that? Ask Jerry. Ask Steven's dumbass. I'm sure they'll tell you they did, but they didn't. Watch how he was played in that first year, and they found out just like we did, and everybody else did. Sometimes better be lucky than good, I guess, huh? With Prescott, Parsons, uh, you know, are the Jones boys geniuses or complete lucky idiots? I don't know. But anyway, talked about this guy a little bit. Some really good running backs about round 3 sitting on this. I don't know if it falls like that. My favorite is probably like Charbonnet. I love Aki, the kid from Texas A&M. Um, and I think you get solid production out of a lot of those guys. Measurables come from a semi-pro, SEC type big team, and I think you can make some magic happen there. But, I mean, this is the 4th round, and I think when I was playing with this earlier, we were actually able to score the super little guy from TCU, Deuce. Is that right? K-State? Is that right? Am I losing my mind? I always get him confused. There's like a couple of little dudes. Darius Davis is a little purple dude too. Those purple schools, they all look the same. But anyway, um, now I have to know. I'm losing my mind. This is a lost cause. We're gonna have to push through, boys and girls. Um, Eric Gray from Oklahoma, really like that. Um, but I mean, even like an Evan Hull or a Chris Rodriguez, I mean, they balled out at the Senior Bowl. You know, uh, Israel Ebenaconda, um, pretty good. You know, uh, kind of dominant looking college level. Big bruiser, not super like electric, but he probably could get the job done. You know, it's kind of funny. I mean, there's guys I definitely don't like, and then there's all the draftables, right? Like, it's easier to do running back for me on who is not my guy, right? And then that's the tricky part is where's that value and that commitment come in. Um, you'd like to have another tight end. Definitely need a linebacker. That's what I'd be most interested to hear from you guys. Tell me, um, what does the linebacking room look like next year? Because I don't re-sign Leighton Vander Esch. God love it. Um, I don't. Um, the injury thing, I have PTSD from Sean Lee. I don't care if you're the best, Tyron Smith at this point, Tony Romo. I don't care if you're the best player that's ever played the game. If you can't suit up and make it through 17, 20 games, that just really doesn't work for me. Um, Consistency super important, and it just is what it is. So we took Chase Brown. I probably need to hit it with a Google, but that's about where running back needs to be. We don't need to double dip at wide receiver, but I just like the way it looks. It feels good for me. I'm going to drop a couple more on here for everybody, and then maybe I didn't end up grabbing a tight end.